Okay, so we're gonna work through this worksheet here. I encourage you to fill in any notes or anything that you may have missed, okay? All right, so Ty is renovating his bedroom, which measures 4.5 by 9 meters. He chose to lay down laminate flooring, which costs $29.99 per box and contains 3.8 meters squared. Note that, right, the units are the same. Okay, we have meters and meters squared, so we're staying within the metric system. Okay, calculate the total cost of laying down laminate floors after tax. All right, so we're going to go area of the room. It's going to be 4.5 times 9, okay? And that gives you 40.5 square meters. We're only doing one room, so it stays that way. Area that is contained within the box, no calculations needed. We know it's 3.8 square meters. So now you got to calculate the boxes needed. You take the total area, you divide it by what's in the box, and you get 10.65, which is approximately 11 boxes. You need to buy the extra box past 10 because you won't be able to purchase partial units, right? Now you can calculate the cost. The cost is 11 boxes times $29.99, which is going to equal 329.89. If you multiply that by 1.12, because they want after tax, that's 369.48 cents Canadian. Right, so that is question number one. I'm going to leave it there like that. So if you're still copying, you can do so. Next question. This one might have been a little tricky. Let's see how you did. Alexa would like to fence in her backyard to increase privacy. She is planning on fencing in a lot on 3 sides. Her house is along one of the shorter sides. Notice that. Her backyard measures 45 by 50 feet. If she buys boards that are 5 inches, there's that 5-inch wide for $2.99 each, calculate the total cost of fencing the backyard, not including tax. Note that 1 foot has 12 inches. So what happens here is, imagine this is the backyard of the house, right? You have a longer side and a shorter side, and the house is right here. So this is where the house is. So there's no fencing required here. You're just going to need it along the other 3 sides. And you have a 45-foot section and 2 50 feet sections, right? So the perimeter on this, in this particular case, is 50 plus 45 plus 50, which is 145 feet, okay? So fencing, right, you're going around, that should have made sense, all right? Now, what do we do next? In a sense, if you look at it from the side, okay, let's just pretend this is a fence. So you've got your post here, another post there, and then you have like cross members like this, right? And you're going to put boards, you're going to screw them onto this fence. So every board is 5 inches wide, 5, and then you put one aside. We're assuming that we're putting them right next to each other, right? So 5, 5, 5, and so forth, all around this property. So in a sense, you need to see how many 5-inch sections fit into 145, which is the distance all around this fence. But we have a problem, right? Inches and feet, okay? Now, 5 inches is the same thing as saying 5 over 12 feet, because it's 5 out of 12 feet that you have. And that, if you go 5 divided by 12, you get 0.4167. I use 4 decimals because when I'm working with something, I like to sometimes, especially because you're putting so many side by side, if you're rounding too soon, right, it's going to add up to a lot more at the end. So I've converted 5 feet to this, 5 inches to this many feet. So the perimeter of one board, in a sense, right, the length is 0.4167 feet. Now I can find out how many boards I need. So I take the total distance divided by what one takes up, and you end up with 347.97, which is approximately 348 boards needed. Okay. That's how many you need to fence in this particular yard. So now we're going to do the cost. Cost is 348 times 299, and that is 1,040.52. And we don't need to worry about taxes, so that's it. So that one was a little trickier. If you missed the 5-inch, if you just went 145 divided by 5, now then you're looking at a 5-foot wide board. I haven't seen one of those, right? Like for fencing purposes. So you need to make sure you convert it. And we're going to do some of this down the road. This you should have seen already, 5 inches to feet and vice versa. Okay. Number 3, Manveer has a circular garden. There's a keyword. It's a circle, right? With a diameter of 20 feet. He would like to lay down sod. There's that word that I talked about earlier. And finds a supplier that offers a roll which covers 8 square feet for $36.25. Calculate the total cost of laying down sod after tax. First of all, right, the garden is like this. It's 20 feet across. The radius is 10 feet, right? It's just divide that by 2 to get the radius. The area of the circle is pi times the radius squared. Area of the circle is 314.15 or 16 square feet. Area of the roll is 8 square feet. Okay, so how many rolls do you need? 314.16 divided by 8. That gives you 39.269 and keeps going, which is approximately 40 rolls that you need to buy to cover up that entire garden, right? So 40 times 36.25, that's 1450, okay, times 1.12 to add taxes, 1624, and that's the total. Okay. So make sure you check that off. Add any notes that you need. Alyssa would like to put down edging, right, around a semicircular flower bed. It has a radius of 9. If edging comes in lengths of 4 meters, so basically one piece has 4 meters, okay, and it costs $9.99. Calculate the total cost of installing the edging after tax. So you're essentially going all the way around here plus this stretch here. You want to know the distance around this circle. Notice that this is not part of the circumference of a circle. That you have to come up with yourself. So the perimeter would be, just to talk about this arc up here, would just be pi r, right, plus the diameter. This is the diameter from end to end, plus the diameter. So this is pi r here, all around, because it's 2 pi r to go all the way around the circle. So now we're just talking about pi r, plus the diameter. So the perimeter of this garden would be pi, radius is 9, right? Plus the diameter is just going to be 18 meters, right? It's going to be twice the radius. Okay, so the perimeter ends up being 46.27 meters. The perimeter of this garden. Okay, you need to find out how many pieces you need to buy. Okay, so pieces, we're going to call that 46.27 divided by, it's 4 meters a piece. You get 11.56, which is approximately 12 pieces that you need to buy to have enough edging. You're going to have to cut some off and throw it out, right? Cost 12 times $9.99, which is $119.88. Right, before taxes, we're going to add taxes by going times 1.12. This is 369.60 to get that. So we had some perimeter, some area, like it's almost alternating as you go through this. Okay. So I'll leave it there for a bit so you can write it down. The back side. So what I will do is I'll post this video together with the worksheet. So if you open the worksheet, you'll also see the video below it. Okay, the back side. Consider the layout of the room below. Determine the cost after tax of A. We'll do A first. Laying down carpet if a roll of 80 square feet costs $245. Carpet is being installed in the closet as well. So we're going to find out this whole thing, right? So to find A, we're going to find area, which is 1 plus 2, right? We're going to call this 1 and this 2. And so to get this area, it's just 9 times 15.5 plus 2.5, and this we have to figure out. So 15.5 minus 10.5 gives you 5. So this little sliver here is 2.5 times 5. Okay, so area of the first section, area of that last little section, and we're going to add the answers to both of those. Area total is going to be 152, so it's 139.5 plus 12.5, which is going to give us 152 square feet. That's the total area to be carpeted. Area of a roll, they give you that already, so it's just putting that down. So rolls that you need would be 152 divided by 80. That's 1.9, which is approximately 2 rolls. So the cost of that would be 2 times 245, which is 490. Add taxes to it, which is 548.80. used up a little bit too much room, but I think we're going to fit B in here. Installing trim around the edges, if it costs $55 per 8-foot piece, you have to buy an 8-foot piece every time. No trim inside the closet, so this doesn't need to be trimmed, right? Because there's probably going to be a foldable door or something here, so you're not going to see it. So you can save some money. So it's essentially just from here to here to here to here to here, and you stop there. Okay, so perimeter would be, this is 9 here, same as that. So 9 plus 15.5 plus 9 plus 10.5 coming back here. And that is 44 feet. So to find out how many pieces of trim you're going to need to buy, you take the 44, you divide it by 8-foot piece, and you get 5.5 pieces, which is approximately 6 pieces that you need to purchase. So the cost will be 6 times, it costs $55 per trim piece, and that is $330 times 1.12. Oh, I noticed something. Now that I'm writing down this answer, I gave you the wrong answer earlier, didn't I? Yeah, on the first page, right? I wrote this down earlier and it seemed bizarre to me. So question 4 is 134.27. So let's go back once. Like, how do we go from 119 to 369.60, right? You can say something if you notice that. It's okay. So that's 134. I made changes to it, like I spread yours out more. So my last question on my page is this one that we just did. And so I was looking at the bottom of my original. So my bad. Got 7 minutes left. We'll see how we can get this one. Was a little bit more. There's quite a bit of work involved in this one here. So you're producing picture frames for collages, right? And they measure 3 feet by 4 feet. And you received an order for 250 frames. So that's like how many bedrooms you're carpeting or how many coats you're putting on. That's what that is. So she needs to paint them white using scratch resistant paint. One can covers 220 square feet and it costs $65. Calculate the total cost of paint before taxes. So area of frame, you know how we do area of room, it's just 3 times 4, which is 12 square feet. You are doing 250 frames. You're producing 250 frames, so that's where that comes in. Do it right away. So it's the equivalent of you needing to paint 3,000 square feet. Okay? So how many cans will you need? Well, you take the 3,000 and you divide it by how much you can cover with one can. Okay? So that is 220, which is 13.63, which is approximately 14 cans that you need. Cost is 14 times $65. We're not going to do taxes just yet. So that's 910. You're done there. So probably what you might have, if you did the 250 at the end, you probably got a different answer, okay? She also needs to add a border, which costs $25 per roll, and one roll has 45 feet of edging. Calculate the cost of purchasing the edging. So one frame, right? The perimeter of one frame is 2 times 3 plus 2 times 4, because you're right. The frame is 3 by 4 like that. So 2 times 3 and plus 2 times 4, and that is 14, right? 14 feet. You need to do this for 250 frames. So that's the equivalent of needing this many feet. We're almost done, guys. And so I'm just going to finish this question. So how many rolls do you need? 3,500 divided by 45 that fit in one roll, which is 77.77, which is approximately 78 rolls. The cost is 78 times 25, which is 1950. And let's do the total here. Total is the 910 plus 1950, which is 2860. We're going to add taxes to it. So it's 3203.20 to make those frames, including paint and not including labor, of course. And the 7th one I will do on Thursday. Okay, no classes tomorrow. So do that on Thursday, okay? Enjoy your day off. If you haven't finished this, finish this worksheet, okay?